Namo Amida Buddha. Introduction by Gansen John Welch. I wrote this new poem to thank and honor my teachers, Rev Josho Adrian Cirleas and Paul Roberts, as well as our Amida Dharma masters, Nagarjuna, Vasubandhu, Tanluan, Dao Chuao, Shandao, Genshin, Honen, Shinran, and Renyo, without whom I could not have found and understood, in my case to some small extent, Amida Dharma and my utter helplessness, trapped in the endless suffering of samsara. Never forget these wise words from Tannisho by Yenbo. Quote, as I humbly reflect on the past, when the late Master Shinran was alive, and the present in my foolish mind, I cannot but lament the divergences from the true Shinjin that he conveyed by speaking to us directly, and I fear there are doubts and confusions in the way followers receive and transmit the teaching. For how is entrance into the single gate of easy practice possible unless we happily come to rely on a true teacher whom conditions bring us to encounter? Let there be not the slightest distortion of the teaching of other power with words of an understanding based on personal views. End quote. My hope is that readers and listeners will find that certain words, phrases, ideas, and concepts in this poem resonate with their past and present experience and prove to be helpful and meaningful in increasing their understanding of this profound and precious Amida Dharma. As Master Renyo wrote, quote, there will also be those who are lacking in faith, Fushinjin. This is an extremely serious matter, for unless there is a decisive settling of faith, the birth that is to come in the fulfilled land is uncertain. Therefore, those whose faith is lacking, Fushin, should in all haste attain the decisive mind. The human realm is a place of uncertainty. The land of utmost bliss is one of eternity. Hence we should not make our abode in the uncertain human realm, but rather aspire to birth in the eternal land of utmost bliss. In our tradition, therefore, the matter of faith is placed before all else. Unless we are fully aware of the reason for this, everything is meaningless. We must promptly undergo a decisive settling of faith, Anjin, and aspire to birth in the Pure Land. Pages 67 and 68. Quote, there is then no anxiety over becoming a Buddha. How incomparable is the all-surpassing primal vow, and how gracious is Amida Tathagata's light. Without encountering the receptive condition of this light, there can be no cure at all for the fearful sickness of ignorance and karma hindrance, which has been ours from the beginningless past. Prompted by the condition of this light, and with the ripening of good from the past, we assuredly attain other power faith now. It is immediately clear, however, that this is faith granted by Amida Tathagata. Hence we know now, beyond question, that this is not faith generated by the practitioner, but that it is Amida Tathagata's great other power faith. Accordingly, all those who have once attained other power faith should reflect gratefully on Amida Tathagata's benevolence and repeat the Nembutsu, saying the name of the Buddha always, in gratitude for the Buddha's benevolence. Page 69. I would encourage readers and listeners to share these PDFs and recordings with family and friends, especially the audio recordings for those who may have difficulties with reading, so that as many people as possible may benefit. I also hope that these verses help others and motivate them to find a good teacher like Rev Josho Adrian Cirleas, listen deeply to Amida Dharma, and think and say, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Buddha. An Ever-Present Reality by Gansen John Welch. Death is an ever-present reality from which in samsara we are never free. Death dogs our life's journey every step of the way, never leaving us night or day. Death is ever ready to strike the fatal blow, and no matter how great our weapons that we display or show, death never turns away or flees, but is ever vigilant, looking to seize the chance to fatally slay us with no warning or fuss. Death is the only predator never to fail, no matter how much we rant and rail against death, which is impervious to our cries for mercy and clemency, as we vainly try to prise open death's fatal fingers wrapped around our throats, while we wait in vain for rescuers too feeble and remote to release us from death's crushing grip. And as our breath and life force slip away, we inevitably begin the terrifying journey into the bardo, where no wise or sane being would ever wish to go. As few attain enlightenment there, despite the great wisdom, compassion, and care of multitudes of bodhisattvas and Buddhas, thus taught Padmasambhava, a manifestation of Amida Buddha. So now, let us grasp Amida's helping hand and his unique primal vow, which guides us to his pure land. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. The above verses were inspired by the following article written by Rev Josho Adrian Cirleas and published on his website. The link is provided below. On the 16th of June, 2008. Quote, brutal awareness. Hey, awake yourself to the true reality of your life. Your body is becoming older and older day by day, no matter that you are now 20, 30, or 40 years old. Some of you are already 50 or 60. Look at yourself in a mirror. Look at yourself in your old pictures and you will notice the differences, how your body has changed. Your body is becoming uglier and uglier day by day and will soon resemble more like a corpse than a living body. Look how your hair becomes white. The signs of death are there in your own body. Your parents are even older than you. They will become a corpse, and you will also become a corpse. The body of your own wife or husband, which you now love and feel sexual attraction to, it will become a corpse. It will stink. It will have a smell so bad that you will not be able to stay near it for a few days. Your own body will rot. Your body is only flesh and bones, the same flesh you see in the meat store. Open your belly, and you will find intestines filled with excrements. This is what you are. This is what your body is. This is life, birth of this body, the decaying of this body, and death of this body. Are you afraid? Are you scared when you realize all these truths? Then it means that you walk the right path. The more you realize how ugly you are, how death is becoming the master of your body, the more you are prepared for the Dharma. And what do you really want to gain in this life, in this present body composed of flesh and bones, which soon will become a corpse and rot in a forgotten grave? You are only a moving skeleton, a prisoner awaiting execution. Awake yourself and immerse in this brutal awareness. It is the only true action you can do. Everything else is an illusion. This brutal awareness is not poetry. Stop making poetry about death. Just writing poems about death is nothing. You have to be shocked by death in order to awake yourself. Death is not something about the future. On the contrary, death is working now in your own body and the bodies of your loved ones. Just look at you and look at them. They look like shit and you look like shit. We all look like shit. We become uglier and older day by day. And if we have the chance to survive until old age, then we'll look exactly like ghosts in horror movies. Awake yourself to this brutal reality, to the true reality. Stop lying about yourself and to yourself. Escape your own illusion that keeps telling you what beautiful beings you are. Just examine your own body and you'll find the truth, the bitter truth. What can be truly done with this life like a prison in which everything you have now will surely be lost one day? All these hungry ghosts we call human beings, attached to their deformed bodies and minds, ready to devour you and to take everything from you in order to satisfy their own hunger and thirst. What do you still want or expect from them? Do you want to be loved by them? Can you really love them? Aren't you the same like them when you wish to satisfy your own desires? Don't you see that this place becomes more and more like hell? Is this the place in which you want to build a house, make a career, have a family, children and friends? do you wish to find fulfillment here? And for how long do you think your satisfaction will last? I repeat, these words are not poetry, but brutal awareness. I am not a poet, a good blogger, or a priest who wants to write something interesting. I am just a hungry ghost, writing to other hungry ghosts in this world like hell, in which I know we all hate each other, or profit from each other, using each other, abandoning each other, thinking we are beautiful and have long-lasting bodies. Just look at yourself, you ugly human being, walking corpse that you are. All that is waiting for you is a grave. All will remain from you and your loved ones as a stinking corpse and a skeleton. Even now you look more and more like a corpse. Stop arranging your grey hair, monkey man. You will be born again and again, repeating the same misery until your stupid mind will finally understand that this life is only a prison from which you must escape at all costs, and the only way of escaping is through the Nembutsu of faith in Amida Buddha. Quote, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. End quote. As stated by Shinran Shonin in Tannisho. Namo Amida Butsu.